Hey everyone, I'm Mike from theparkprodigy.com, and if you don't know, I've been planning Universal Orlando vacations professionally for years, but there are actually 5 tips that I picked up on my most recent visit that I wanted to break down for you all at home, including one that could cost you an extra 40 minutes of waiting online for Hagrid's Magical Creatures motorbike adventure that I did not see coming. So if you're in the process of planning that Universal Orlando vacation, just be sure to stick around until the end of this video. As always, I'm very excited, so let's go get started. Thank you again so much for checking out this video. Like I said, I'm about to break down 5 tips for Universal Orlando that I've never thought about before. I've been doing videos on YouTube for over 5 years now, and I have never spoken about these tips before. Okay, jumping right in and starting with tip number 1, and what I would say to this is, if you've been watching my channel, I typically recommend, if you're taking advantage of early park admission, specifically for Hagrid's Magical Creatures motorbike adventure, that you arrive a full hour before early park admission starts. And the benefit has always been that you'll pretty much get on and off that ride within the first 15-20 minutes of your day. And what I have seen over the years is the downside is if you don't get there with, an hour before and you're not some of the first guests in the park, realistically, you're probably going to wait 2 hours to get onto Hagrid's Magical Creatures. But in 2026, what the wait time data is showing is that it's actually, if you're not some of the first guests on this ride, it's actually better to come back to this ride a little bit later in the day. And so the main reason here is when I look at the wait time data, pretty much from 9 a.m. all the way until either 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. at night when Islands of Adventure is typically closing, that first 2 hours of the day has an average wait of 124 minutes. But what I'm seeing is when I look at the wait time data is later in the day, it has an average wait of 98 minutes. So hey, you want to know what? You pick up almost a half hour if you're not some of the first guests in the park. And I actually picked this up doing a heat map for all of the Islands of Adventure rides to really try to find the best time of day to go on to each ride. And so of course, what I'm saying here is if you're not taking advantage of my sort of tip and trick or my hack, which is show a full hour before, I do agree that there's really no benefit to hitting Hagrid's during early park admission if you're not really going to be some of the first guests in the park. When looking at the numbers, it actually shows that you're going to end up waiting a little bit more. Now, what I would say is I love to show up at that extra hour, get on and off the ride. You'll still save yourself. You could see even later in the day, you'll save yourself 90 minutes. So I still see the benefit there, but it gives you more flexibility that you can at least feel confident and good that like, hey, if it's a 90-minute wait, that's pretty much you getting ahead. Okay, so moving over to tip number 2, and this one is going to be the 4 p.m. Express Pass crunch that nobody warns you about. And so this one I learned the hard way last weekend. So we were at Islands of Adventure Park, and we are annual pass holders. We're annual pass holders that our annual pass gives us the Express Pass after 4 p.m. And so what I found is we actually went and we rode Hagrid's Magical Creatures motorbike adventure exactly at 4 p.m. And with our Express Pass, can you guess how long we waited? We stood in line for 40 minutes. That's right, 40 minutes with the Express Pass. And so it got me thinking, well, Hagrid's Magical Creatures is relatively new to the Express Pass, over the past, I would say, year to 2 years. So this really wasn't a problem until recently. But the problem is if you purchase the Express Pass, if you use your hard-earned dollars on the Universal Express Pass, what I would say is try not to hit the most popular rides exactly at 4 o'clock. Really try to get the most popular rides out of the way before 4 o'clock. And this is especially true if you're visiting on the weekend. And just like it sounds, the reason being is the annual pass holders will start hitting the parks really after 4 o'clock when they can use their Express Passes. So the rides that you want to hit before 4 o'clock are going to be Hagrid's Magical Creatures motorbike adventure, the Jurassic World Velocicoaster, Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts, and then also the Forbidden Journey, Revenge of the Mummy. Pretty much any of the rides that have the highest average wait times, you want to get them out of the way early, or just don't plan to hit them, right around 4 o'clock like I did. And of course, it's important for me to note that this is only at Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida at this time. This does not include Epic Universe because Epic Universe is not included with the annual passes. Okay, moving over to tip number 3, and this is one I've never really given, but it's starting to grow on me, and that is the 1 annual pass equals your hotel discount for the entire room. And the thing is, once I really start to kind of break down the math, it could potentially work for your family, but there's a lot of caveats, and that's why I really haven't spoken about it in the past, but I've decided I wanted to bring it into this video. So how does the AP hotel discount actually work? And AP means annual pass. So the way that it works is if you have one person registered to your room with an annual pass, you can book that room at the annual pass holder discounted rate. So that means that one single annual pass unlocks the discount for the entire room. And every guest within that room doesn't have to have an annual pass. They can have, a 3-day ticket, 4-day ticket, whatever it might be, but you still would get a discount on that room. And the discount can be substantial. We're talking up to 30% off, especially when you start to break down those, signature collection hotels such as Portofino Bay, Hard Rock, Lowe's Royal Pacific, and then it could be a little bit less over at the value resorts, up to 25% off. So now one of the things that I do not like about this is, of course, at this point in time, annual pass holders do not have access to Epic Universe. So right there, you have to take that into account. If you plan to go to Epic Universe, or that one person that's getting the annual pass plans to go to Epic Universe, you have to purchase that ticket, and it could be up to $200 per day. And so you'll see it really depends on how many days are you going to spend at Epic Universe, because a 3-day base ticket, you could go to Epic Universe twice. So if one person from your family ends up having to buy, 2 single-day tickets, that could be $400, which can completely negate the discount that you got. And so that's why this really only works for some families. It might work for families you're coming down for, I don't know, a conference, and dad is going to be working the whole trip. I'm sorry, dad, but mom and the kids are going to be at the parks a lot. This could potentially work for you. The reason why this also works is the math behind the annual passes, is in your favor. So a seasonal 2-park annual pass can cost you around $425 plus tax, but a 3-day 3-park base ticket is definitely going to cost you more than that. And of course, just like it sounds, what I would say is if you're only going to go to Epic Universe one time, but it sounds like, hey, you're in driving distance to Universal, you might come back to Universal Orlando for just one more weekend in the future, the numbers might make sense for you. So you might want to explore an annual pass. And if this all sounds way too complicated, just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com. We are full-blown Universal Orlando, you preferred travel agents, and we have access to all of the annual pass discounts, and we can help you run the numbers, look at specific dates to really try to figure out, hey, is this worth it for me and my family or not? Okay, over to tip number 4, and this one is the Volcano Bay Nights is a sneaky good deal if you're already going to buy the Coke Freestyle Cup. So Volcano Bay Nights is a separated ticketed after-hours event that most people overlook because it could be expensive at first glance. The cost of a one-night ticket to Volcano Bay Nights is right around $99, but once you do the math and start to see what's included, it's actually a pretty decent deal. And here's the reason why. So for $99, you get exclusive limited capacity access to Volcano Bay from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Now you can get in as early as 4 p.m., so you're still getting a couple extra hours to enjoy the water park. You have shorter wait times for a lot of the most popular rides. You have some really cool character meet and greets, specifically the characters from DreamWorks, such as Shrek and the Madagascar characters. There's a live DJ with family games and activities, but there's also some complimentary snacks. So we've seen some churro bites and then garlic parmesan popcorn. But here's the thing that caught me and caught my eye, and that is you get a complimentary Coke Freestyle souvenir cup. And so if you're familiar with the parks, you know that the Coke Freestyle cup will cost you right around $19 to $20 if you purchase that cup on its own. So when you take that into account, the cost for your ticket is really, around, I would say, $80. So the tip and trick here is maybe you plan the Volcano Bay Nights as your first night at Universal Orlando because you get that Coke Freestyle cup and then you could just refill it for the rest of your vacation. And another thing I love too is I've done the math, and to add one day at Volcano Bay onto your multi-day ticket, it's going to come in right between $40 to $50. So like if you're going to add a day at Volcano Bay, but you decide you're going to just go to this event and you take all this into account, it's really only costing you like $30 more when you sort of bundle it all together and you get a really, really cool experience. Okay, but now that we've spoken about the complimentary Freestyle Cup at the Volcano Bay Nights and why it could be a slam dunk, let's talk about the Freestyle Cup at the regular parks. And here's a tip and trick that I've never thought about before, but it hit me this last weekend. And that is if you do purchase the Coke Freestyle Cup and you're planning to go on any of the rides that require lockers, you have to be mindful that you're going to want to empty that cup out before you put it in the locker. The free lockers are essentially going to require that you tip that cup sideways and you pretty much put your Freestyle Cup into the locker sideways. I don't recommend that. Honestly, I've actually never done it before, but in theory, I was just thinking, I was like, well, how do people do this? And I went online and I read that like this is a common problem that people will unfortunately get their stuff soaked, people who don't even have the Coke Freestyle cups, if they're in a locker near one, they'll get their stuff soaked. So just don't don't do that. All right. There's nothing worse than coming out and all your stuff, is soaked in Coca-Cola. So what I would say here is be strategic to when you refill your cup. If you know that you're going to go on one of the rides that make you put your stuff into any of the free lockers, maybe you want to just wait till after the ride to refill your Coke Freestyle cup, or make sure that you're emptying out your cup, like I said, because I don't recommend that you put it in the locker full. And sticking with the cup for a second, another tip and trick that I didn't really think about until recently is if you're staying at an official Universal Orlando hotel, they have their own Coke Freestyle mugs. So the kind of mistake that you want to avoid is when you're checking into your hotel, if you've heard about the Coke Freestyle cup and like that's the one you see, the first thing you see, but you really just want to use it within the parks, don't buy the hotel cup because you can't use it in the parks and vice versa. You can't use your park Freestyle cup at the hotels. So Universal kind of gets you there. Just a mistake that I don't want to see you make on your Universal Orlando vacation. But that is it, everyone. Those are 5 tips that I've never spoken about before when visiting Universal Orlando Resort. I really hope that you found this video helpful. And as a thank you for sticking around all the way till the end of this video, I do have a special promo code that you can go use on our website to save an extra $50 off your next Universal Orlando family vacation. That promo code is MAGIC50, valid on all vacation packages of $1,000 or more. And if you just need help planning your days in the park, I also have a free tool that you can use. I will leave a link to that below. You can plan one day at Universal Orlando absolutely free using our itinerary tool. But I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all again so much for checking out this video. And until next time, I will talk to you soon.